Hi guys, welcome to my new channel. If you guys don't know who I am Tony Brienne from Tony Brienne TV. And if you do know who I am, I'm so excited you guys have decided to join me on this journey on this new channel. So I'm going to be continuing to post content on my other channel, Tony Brienne TV, which is more commentary style and deep dives. But on this channel, we'll be talking more about real life, my personal life, dating, adulting, all of the real tea. There's so much to talk about. And I'm so excited to be able to make this type of content. But also just so y'all can see a little bit more of the personal side of me, aside from me talking about other people, we're gonna be able to talk about me in my real life. And real life is I left TV news within the first month of working. So I'm going to be getting ready as I get ready for an interview, not a job interview, an interview that someone is doing of me, and also a networking event later tonight. So without further ado guys, let's get straight into why I left TV news. So it took me a while to do this video, mainly because I did not really know how to explain the situation, and because I literally just left. I moved halfway across the country to Georgia to do this job, and it kind of just fell through. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of the situation, I want to explain how I got into TV news to begin with. So TV news kind of fell upon my lap. I was in my senior year of college and I did not know exactly what I wanted to do. Well, I don't want to say I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I always wanted to be on TV, but I did not know how to get there. So after Googling and seeing certain people that were doing what I wanted to do, I saw myself doing the show like The Real, The Wendy Williams Show, Access Hollywood, and then some people that I really looked up to was like Tamron Hall, Oprah of course, Jeannie Mai, Anderson Cooper, etc, etc. That's what I wanted. I wanted my own show. So as I was Googling and looking at what some of the people I looked up to did in order to get to where they were today, I saw many of them went the news reporter route. Now, I'm not an avid news watcher, but I did always find myself to be a really good storyteller. And I also thought I presented myself very well on camera, and I always got told that. So I was like, you know what? Let's see what people think, what route to go. So I went to the guidance counselor. No, the career center. Oh my God, I'm not in high school. The career center. And the career center people were telling me that they think that I should do news. They referenced me to some people. I was looking at other communication jobs, but news kind of just felt right. So I immediately started to look into internships in news because, like I said, I was a senior. I was 20 at the time, but I was a senior because my birthday's super late, but I wanted to get as much experience as I possibly could before entering into the real world, the job market. So I snagged an interview with a very popular news station in the city I lived in Baltimore. At that news station, I was a part of the very first student-run newscast, and I was selected to be the anchor, and I got a lot of attention from other neighboring stations that just thought I would be a great fit. And along with that, I also got selected to be an NABJ, which is the National Association of Black Journalists, their student projects. I got selected to do that, so they flew me out to Las Vegas and I got everything paid for, room and board, food, all of that, which was amazing. Such a great experience. And that is how I found my first job, honestly. So after completing that internship, graduating college, and then inevitably going to Vegas to the National Association of Black Journalists convention where I was in the student projects, I was able to meet a bunch of stations that were looking for new news reporters. And I know so many people warned me about news reporting, saying that like you get no time off, it's very underpaid. I got warned a lot, but I was like, no, I think this is something I want to do and I will take the L, okay? I will miss holidays. I will take that pay cut only because I knew in my heart that I would be very successful in the industry. So I was like, you know what? I will take all of that. I ended up securing a job. I got flown out to a few different cities because other news stations were interested in me, but I inevitably selected the station where I worked and did not last very long there. So when most people move halfway across the country, they have months to prepare. I only had about a month and a half, so I moved very quickly once I signed the contract for this job. We drove down 12 hours starting Friday night. We got there on Saturday and I started working on Monday very quickly. So yeah, I started working at the station, and let me just say also I visited that station before I started working there and I met a lot of the people there, and I thought everyone was really nice, everyone's really cool, and I was like, this is gonna be a good experience. Like I really like the people here, it's gonna be good. So as I was at the station, once again, I had a fairly good experience. But I very quickly realized that news was not exactly for me. And I guess the main reasons I would say is a lot of the red flags that people would tell me, but you have to experience it firsthand to know if it is or isn't for you. And I wanted to experience that. So some of the things that like I knew news wasn't for me was that just like the stories that we tell on news, it's way different than what I do like on my YouTube channel, my Tony Brienne TV channel, where it's more commentary based. That was something that I was really into. I love telling stories, but not stories that are always tragic or what I would consider boring stories that I just wasn't interested in. So you can have a story preference saying you want to do a story on this specific topic, but it's up to your news director and assistant news director, well, really assistant news director, to decide whether or not you do that story. And I like my assistant director a lot. He was really cool, but you know, he knows what's good for TV, and he would a lot of the times like select other stories for me, even if I found one other story to be more interesting. So that was kind of frustrating because I always was so used to having like my own ideas, my own decisions, and I could bring that to light. So mind you guys, this was back in like September, October, and my channel was growing significantly. And I just had no time to even pretend to post a video because I was at the station all the time. So at the job, I worked from 9:30 to 6:30 and sometimes even later than that. So by the time I got home, I was so exhausted, so tired, I had no time for anything. I remember my apartment was like halfway done for so long, I couldn't even finish decorating my apartment because I never had time for it. By the time I came home, I was knocked out, I had dinner, and then it was time to go back to work. I was not happy, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna get a pet, maybe that'll make me happier. And I went and I got a cat. I got a cat literally the week before I left. So like I said, I was still working at the station for about a week after I got the cat. But I remember when I got her, I just didn't really bond with her. I didn't really know her. It was kind of hard because I was never around her. So I didn't really know like how cats behave. She was like getting on my nerves. I was frustrated with her. Obviously not harming my cat, okay? I just was not bonding with her very well because I was always working. And that made me sad too. So I'm like, I just got this cute little kitten and I'm not even like bonding with her because I'm at this job 24/7. There was also some other things that I cannot get into detail because of legalities that were happening at the station that I just was not happy with. Nothing that was extreme, like you gotta take this to court, but like just petty stuff that would happen. And I was like, oh my God, like this kind of feels like high school. I don't want to do this. Like I haven't dealt with any of that because I'm so used to being in college, and when you're in college, you just do group assignments maybe once. You're not really talking to people. But like when you're in the real work world, you're like working with people directly all the time. And there was just stuff that was happening that I was like, this cannot be my life. The amount of times I called my mom, like I was always calling my mom. I cried so much like while I was working there because I just wasn't happy, and this was not where I wanted to be in life. And like I said, my channel was blowing up at this time. And if you guys do know, YouTube does pay as well. So I'm just seeing my income on YouTube go up and up. And I was making about triple than what I was making at the news station. And that just made me like really want to leave because I was like, you know, I could be making so much more if I had more time to film. So I never had time to film either. And then also with YouTube, guys, when you have a following or just influencing in general, you get what? Sponsorships. And when you're in news, you cannot take sponsorships because it's not considered ethical. So I'm like missing out on these thousands of dollar deals that I could be getting because I'm in news, and I respected that. There were some other things that happened behind the scenes I can't talk about in terms of sponsorship deals, but I did have sponsorship deals from the past that I signed contracts for prior, and there was like some stuff that happened along with that. And there was just a bunch of stuff that happened, and I just wasn't happy, and my mom could sense that I was not happy. And the way that I operate is I thug it out. I will thug out anything. If I sign to do something, if I agree to do something, I will get it done. But with my YouTube channel growing rapidly and the type of content that I made, though was by far not inappropriate at all, it just conflicted with being a journalist on the news. Regardless, like I told you guys, I never saw myself necessarily doing news. I used news really as a stepping stone. And after working there for just a few weeks, I was like, you know what? I think that I will do this 2-year bid, keep growing my following, and then I will do something separately. But obviously things did not work out like that. Oh, and I will say, you guys, before I even started news, I always said I would never, ever, ever stop my YouTube channel. I don't care who I'm working for. My channel will never stop. I'm always gonna post. That's something that I take pride in. I grew this bad boy up. I'm going to always post. So I made sure whenever I was interviewing with any of the companies, I made sure to mention my YouTube channel because I did not want any conflicting things to get in the way of my channel and what I do. And every station I talked to was content and okay with that fact that I had a YouTube channel, and I made that very clear because I personally did not want my YouTube channel to be the reason why I left, because I still wanted to do a little bit of news and like gain that experience because there's a lot of tangible skills you can get from news and being a news reporter. So without going into too many details, once again, because of legal things, I basically left news because of my YouTube channel. And I picked my YouTube channel and my peace over any job. And I think that's what's so important. So I left news, and I have been out of news now for about 2 months now. Yeah, I left in November, and I'm still able to pay my bills. My bills are still paid. I'm doing very well. And I'm happy. I'm so happy. Like, this is the happiest I've been. There have been things that have happened and bumps in the road that I will talk about in separate videos with just adulting and being an adult and living in the city that I'm living in. But I can say I'm genuinely happy, and I don't ever want to work a 9 to 5 ever again. Never say never. Let me not say that, because if the right opportunity came, I definitely would. Like, I would probably do more contractual work with the industry that I'm in. I still want to be on TV. I still want to do some form of hosting, but I want to be contractually based where I'm not like working a 9 to 5 and people can tell me what to do and how to do whatever I'm doing outside of my real world, outside of my job. YouTube to me was a hobby that turned into a full-time thing, and that was like my escape. And when any job that I'm doing is conflicting with my peace, that's when I'm going to know it is time to go. And please excuse all my missing nails, y'all. I just popped these off last night. I always do that whenever I'm bored. I just pop my nails off because I wear press-ons. And I cannot find the nail glue right now. So next step. So I'm not going to tell you guys, unless you guys know, some people may or may not know, but I'm not going to say directly where I live, but I do live in Georgia. The goal is to finish out this lease because I kind of have no reason to be here now because I'm no longer working at the news station that I was working at. But the plan is to move to Atlanta once this lease is up, or whenever I find a studio space for my upcoming videos, I'll like probably sublease this place. The one benefit I love about living where I'm living is that the rent is so much cheaper than what it is back home. I am from New Jersey, very close to New York City, and everybody from New York City is moving to New Jersey, so the rent is like insane, especially the area that I'm living in. It's like $1,800 for like a 1-bedroom if you're lucky. And it ain't gonna be no luxury 1-bedroom either. But yeah, the goal is to head over to Atlanta really for job opportunities that I know that I can get, and it's more in the field that I want to get into. I definitely would work on television as like a TV host, but I just need to be somewhere where it's more entertainment based because I'm more into entertainment, and I need to be somewhere that respects the content that I make and be okay with me sharing my opinions and what I find to be important and what I feel comfortable talking about without it being so stiff. That's another thing I didn't like. News is very, very stiff. Many people sound the same. They talk the same. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of personality in news, though people say like, add in your personality, but you can't fully add in your personality. And let's just say that's just not me. I'm so opinionated. I have a really big personality. I'm going to share my thoughts, all of that stuff. And I don't think that's going to like resonate well with the news. So, you know, I might do news again. Who knows? Never say never. But as of now, like I would never get into news again. And anytime I see anything news related, I just scroll past it because I'm just not into it. And I just know it's not for me. But the goal is to continue expanding my brand so you guys can see me in spaces where they accept what I do and who I am. The city that I'm currently living in just is not for me. Like, it's not my vibe. I make the best out of it, but it's just not for me. So I'm definitely gonna move, whether that's in Atlanta. I'm also looking at DC, but I want to move somewhere where there are more creatives in the area and where I can like truly grow from. Oh, and if you guys want to like my parents' reactions, I already told most of my family, my immediate family. But yeah, after my parents heard like the full story, my parents are very supportive of me, and that's like one of the best things I'm so blessed to have. But once I told them like what happened, my mom was like, yeah, no. And then she saw how much I changed after I left and how there was no more calls. I was calling her every single day complaining about something. I wasn't crying anymore. I was actually happy. But then especially when they saw how much money I was making, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, go for it. My dad has always been pro entrepreneurship, so he was like for it from the jump, which I was actually shocked about. I thought he'd be like disappointed. He thought it was so cool that I was on TV, but he was like, oh no, like your YouTube stuff is like amazing and you have great content. He's always like broadcasting me to his friends at work and all that stuff to like watch my content. So he definitely was really supportive, and all my family was really supportive, which I definitely appreciated because I needed it so much in that moment. Once I found out I wasn't going to be working at the station anymore and we came to an agreement that I was not going to be working there, I did feel kind of like weird. Like I felt like, okay, like so did I just move here for no reason? I felt kind of like a failure, honestly. After it settled in. The first day I was chilling, but I remember I was like just sitting in bed and I was like, you know, I technically should be getting ready for work, but I'm not. Like, this is so weird. But then I just got to the point and I was like, you know, it wasn't for me. This is a part of God's testimony for me. This is part of my life story. And after just like deliberating with my family and talking, and then I actually got to go on vacation after the situation happened. I had a trip right after with my family, and that helped a lot. I went to Dominican Republic, so that was amazing. I was a-okay. I was chilling after that. I also kind of like abruptly left my news station, so I'm sure people at the news station made their own theories as to why I left. Well, I'm not sure. I know they did. So that's cute, but I really don't care. I just kind of left, let people say or think whatever the heck they want, and I'm still cool with some people from the news station. I was just hanging out with some of them this past week. But even just being there, I just never felt like I belonged there. I always felt like the oddball. And I was only there for like a month, so I guess I would be an oddball, like I was just getting to meet people, but it just always felt like I just didn't feel like I exactly matched and meshed well with everyone, should I say. I felt very alone through it. There was like a few people that like were by my side, which I really do appreciate, but yeah. So though I was only in news for a little bit, if anybody has any questions about being a news reporter, what that's like, what to expect, I am more than happy to answer those questions. A lot of people leave news all the time. I have people that I know that are in news and they're like just starting at their stations and they're just like either miserable or they just are starting to feel like it's not for them, but they don't really have a way to get out. I was blessed enough to have this YouTube platform and a supportive family, if anything, to just leave and be okay if I left. And a lot of people don't or didn't have that and they had to stay forever, and I'm just so happy with that. But if you are in news, please hang in there. I still do watch news, okay? There's no hate towards like news reporters, news anchors, whichever. Like, I just know it's not for me and I don't want to do it. At least not in like the local news way. But I am supportive towards anyone, especially Black people. We need some more Black faces on television screens, okay? But yeah, you guys, here's the finished look for my interview. I'm about to put these press-ons back on. And these nails are mood changing colors, so if you guys see them change a few times, that's why, because they turn blue and green. I don't know who put blue and green together. It should have been a better match of colors, but it's whatever. But yeah, so here's the finished look. Here's the hair, the makeup. I'm going to be back on this channel probably doing my first day get ready with me. I'm going to be meeting this guy this weekend that is actually going to be driving down to come meet me. So I'm going to be doing a video on that and you guys will be getting ready with me and preparing for that date. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to my Toni Brienne TV channel. That'll be linked down below as well. And also my TikTok. I'm going to start posting more consistent, or I guess more uniform content on TikTok. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the love and support. If you guys have any questions about being in TV news, or you guys have had like better or negative experiences with TV news, please comment down below. I'm very curious what you guys have to say. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in my next video. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.